Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone between, with all due respect, your boy BK. It's time to ask that age-old question: what y'all cooking? That's right. It's your boy BK with Cooking It Right, aka B Season on IG, aka Chef Boyard BK, aka that boy you like to watch that be cooking on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so what's going on about right now is your boy is hungry, but I've been working on my fitness. You know what I'm saying? I can't be eating the way, we getting older. We gotta elevate at some point. We gotta feed the temple just right. So what's going down is I'm watching my carbs, watching my fats, watching my simple sugars, and I really want some fried chicken. So the best way for me to get that experience is to live vicariously through you. But I gotta make sure you are making your fried chicken
the player way.
So here we go. What y'all cooking episode 1 is all about fried chicken. And in this episode, we're going to be watching a video from Tasty where we are looking at which celebrity makes the best fried chicken. So I'm also going to be giving you tips all the way through it. So we're going to be starting with video number 5. So let's get it going. All right, so let's see what they're talking about. I've not watched this video before, so I can't vouch for anything that's happening on this. I've only seen just like the very beginning of it just to kind of calibrate and make sure everything is flowing right. So instead of showing separate videos of these celebrities cooking their fried chicken, it looks like they're going to do a test kitchen type of situation where they're making their recipes. So I guess we're critiquing their interpretation of their recipes, but I guess that's what's going on. Yeah, these are all some really good. Gordon Ramsay, man, that's the homie right there. So we got some really good. We got Patty LaBelle in there. Patty makes good pies. Let's see if she makes good fried chicken. All right, let's see what they got. Okay, so starting with Snoop. So he's got a bit of a brine going on there. It's like a sugar brine, sugar and citrus brine. Okay. 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 All right. Bring that over, and in one bowl you're combining flour. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. I already see the first thing that we're gonna critique right now. All right. So I'm not sure where Snoop got the recipe from. I know he's done some time with Martha Stewart, so I'm assuming that's where this came from, but I could be wrong. So let's first of all get our little lower third graphic up. This is number 5. What y'all cooking? Pro tip number 5. So let's get that going.
Number 5.
So number 5 is all about what you interpret to be the best thing about the fried chicken, which is the texture of it. People love that crispity, crunchy outside batter. And if you're a novice at cooking, you typically think, oh, it's crunchy, I need to put something crunchy in the batter. So as you can see in this particular recipe, they put or Snoop puts in potato chips. There's also other people who will do stuff like panko breading. You'll also hear about people doing cornflakes and things like that. The one thing I can assure you is that if you have the right kind of batter, you do not need to put crunchy things in the batter. And you want to be careful about putting fully cooked, crunchy texture things in the batter because you're going to be putting this deep fried chicken into hot, fat oil. And that oil is going to cook the outside of that chicken. And if you don't have the temperatures just right with the inside of that chicken, if it's going in there a little bit cold, so it's going to take a while for it to get up to temperature, you're going to burn the outside of that chicken by putting fully cooked potato chips on the outside. Same thing with cornflakes. So I would say I know that it's tempting when you are wanting to make really good fried chicken. If you've never made it before, you're thinking, oh, if I put something crunchy in the batter, it's going to make the batter even more crispy and crunchy. True, but it's not necessary. It's an unnecessary accoutrement. If you make sure that you have a really good batter, the main thing that you need in that batter is flour. As long as you got some good all-purpose flour, you make sure that the chicken is fully coated just right. Even if you want to do a double coating of it, it will crisp that up. And typically, if you've had that classic fried chicken flavor, that age-old majority of the time people have that flavor. The only thing that's on the outside of that chicken is flour. So no need to put potato chips in the batter. To me, that's like putting raisins in a potato salad. It's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. Let's go on with the rest of the video.
Take each piece of chicken, put it in the buttermilk first, and then dry mixer, and do that with all the remaining chicken.
Yep. So just
Bring them over to the
battering it,
fryer,
put it in a deep fried
till it's
fat
nice and
oil.
crispy.
They're all going to do that. I hope we don't have any put it in the
Fire on
oven.
top with a bit of salt. There you have it, deep fried chicken.
I hope we don't have any of those. I hate when people put fried chicken in the oven because it's not fried chicken. In fact, let's zoom all the way through it. We know the chicken's going to taste okay. The only thing I did notice, now I will say this. If you pay attention to that video, all he put on that seasoning on that chicken was salt. Let me be clear with you. Just salt is not seasoning. Salt is salt. Seasoning is seasoning. Yes, you can have seasoned salt, but yeah, just putting salt on the outside of chicken, I know Snoop wouldn't be cool with that. Because if you notice, they put some citrus brine, some sugar, some potato chips, which we don't know what potato chips is, and then we didn't put any seasoning on the chicken. That's a fail already right there. I'm definitely not cool with that at all. Try again, my friend. All right, so let's go on a little bit further into the video. It's David Chang's recipe.
Not a written recipe, so we tried our best, so don't end us in the comments. He starts by making a brine, 50% sugar and 50% salt.
Okay, so he does a little bit more salt. So it's more of a salt brine. It's kind of like a pickling brine as well.
The next day, you're going to take
so let's, okay, so he put ramen packets. Again, putting more stuff. David Chang has a tendency to do things kind of trendy. So I'd be careful about putting ramen flour. I mean, he ain't really putting no flour. He just put the season. What? Hold on for a second. Hold on a second. Let me take that back. Wait a minute. Wait. What? He put the seasoning packets from the ramen? What the hell is going on? Hey, hold on. Time out. Flag on the play, B. What is we talking about? All right, let's go. Let's put this graphic up real quick. Number 4. All right, so pro tip number 4. Don't be extra, bro. Stick to the basics. All you need is some good buttermilk, some good flour, dip it in, batter it again, dip it in, put it in the oil. All this extra ramen, chicken bouillon seasonings, don't do that, y'all. Don't invite somebody over y'all's house with some fried chicken and y'all don't put the ramen packet seasoning. It's all extra sodium in the chicken and it don't have no flavor. I don't know nothing about this. This don't make no sense. So let me be clear. This recipe, this ramen dust recipe, apparently, that they didn't put the ramen packets in the food processor so that it has a crispy, crunchy outside. Then you put, it's just more of a trendy thing. Let's stay away from the trends and let's stick to the basics. So you see now both Snoop and David Chang did a salt sugar brine type of thing. BRINE, not BRYN. Don't get it confused. Okay. Brines are a way to use water to get the seasonings and the tenderization into the chicken. Okay. You don't need no hateration or holleration in the dancery. Okay. In my opinion, I think buttermilk is just fine. Buttermilk fried chicken is the Southern standard for a reason. Buttermilk, before people really realized what was going on with it scientifically, there is acidity in the buttermilk. So I get what Snoop is trying to do with the orange peel. He thinks, okay, by putting the citrus in there, which I think, again, he got that from Martha Stewart. Yeah, I get it. The acidity is going to help break down the bird a little bit, break down that muscle, because meat is all muscle. So it's going to make it less tense, make it more supple, make it more sweet. But you can do the same thing with buttermilk. And the great thing about buttermilk is it's part of your outer shell, your outer casing, that crunchiness. So you're going to soak it in that buttermilk overnight, put some seasoning in that buttermilk so that them seasonings get in there too overnight. Then when you take it out, all you got to do is start putting it into that flour. Put it in that flour. That's going to have a little bit of seasoning. So you want to put a little bit of seasoning here and there, not a ton, but a little bit, because you're trying to overcome that flour taste and just the buttermilk taste. So you got to put a little seasoning in those things so that seasoning gets into that bird, into that crunchy batter, so that there's actual flavor there, instead of trying to add it at the end on the outside, and then you run a risk of making it too salty. So again, tip number 5 was all about making sure that you don't need to put extra stuff in the batter. Just use flour. Tip number 4, don't do anything extra. Buttermilk fried chicken is the standard. So just start with buttermilk if this is your first time making fried chicken, or if you're just going for that classic taste. That is my tip number 4.
Number 4.
There you go. All right, so let's move on with the rest of the video. Let's see what everybody else is doing. I can't believe he put that ramen seasoning in that daggone chicken. Yeah, go back to that too. Look at this too. This goes back to that buttermilk thing. So he's coating the chicken. Notice this. See that bald spot? Let me go back one more time. One more time. Let's get it. I want to show you that bald spot on that chicken. Come on, give it to us. Boom, right there. See that right there? That's a bald spot on the chicken. So again, if you use buttermilk and you soaked it in buttermilk overnight, you would, when you put it into that flour is a lot more supple than this ramen packet that he's got going on in here. So it's going to really coat that chicken really well. And even if you miss it with the flour, that buttermilk is still going to be on there. So it's going to give it a little bit better texture there. So also notice that his chicken is kind of pink. So his brine didn't do so well. If you really do a brine the right way, your chicken may actually have a white appearance. So it's looking like his brine didn't actually do anything, but that's probably more so because the people who made the video don't really know what they're doing. So let's keep on going.
Take those, duck them into a preheated fryer.
So going into the frying oil, he's using the same oil from the last one, so we'll forgive that.
Once you take them out,
you don't want to reuse oil too many times because your oil does burn over time. Peanut oil is a good choice for oil because it holds up to high temperatures.
Really cool.
All right, we already know it's good. Let's move forward. Who's the next chicken?
It's here where you see like
pickle juice.
All right, so this is Guy Fieri. I'm hearing pickle juice. I heard pickle juice.
He starts by making brine by combining
buttermilk. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Onion powder.
See, look at them seasonings. Guy Fieri's trying to take you to Flavor Town right there. That's what I'm talking about. Seasonings in the buttermilk. That's it. That's it, man. That's money right there. That's money, B. That's supposed to be some good chicken. Just flour. He put a little cornmeal in there. I don't know about the cornmeal, but look at the seasonings. See, there's some seasonings. He done made a seasoned batter. Now, see, right now, number one chicken right now. The chicken made
the player way
is Guy Fieri right now. This is buttermilk fried chicken. This is going to give you some good success situation. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at it. And then he seasoned it at the end with some accoutrement. Bam. Guy Fieri chicken is the player way. So here's what we're about to do. We're about to do number 3. So pro tip number 3 is seasoning. So number 1, or tip number 5 was all about making sure that you don't put extra stuff in the batter. Just stick to flour. Number 4 was about using buttermilk and not doing extra stuff. Number 3, seasoning. Okay. Seasoning is not just salt. Salt is salty, and salt only brings out the flavor that is existing in something. By putting spices and seasonings into and combining it with salt, it brings more flavor out of the meat itself or whatever you're flavoring it with. So chicken is a protein, especially the way we do processed chickens in America. It has a nice, sweet, supple flavor to it. So when you add a little bit of sugar, a little bit of seasoning into it, it brings out a really good flavor. So this buttermilk, you saw what he did. I told y'all I had not seen this video, y'all, so I did not notice what he was going to do. So you saw in the other 2, they used a salt brine or a sugar brine. Buttermilk is what you need to do. It's got the acidity in there already. I don't want to belabor the point, but use some seasoning. Get you some garlic. You know, you don't need to do garlic salt because it can be too salty sometimes. But granulated garlic, okay, granulated onion. Get you some Italian seasoning, which is not necessarily, Italian seasoning doesn't have any salt in it usually. Get all of those, paprika, put all that in there and really make sure that batter's got that flavor in there. You heard it from the white man that made the fried chicken classically, KFC, he had 11 herbs and spices. If you ain't at least got 6 or 7 of them in there, you ain't doing it.
The player way.
Get out of here. You ain't cooking it right, B. All right. So Guy Fieri, man, this is so far I'm liking what Flavor Town is doing right now. And of course they're gonna love that. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Look, you can just look good. Yeah, buddy. The crunch. That's good.
It's a weird taste, but in like a good way.
Definitely a little bit less seasoning on this one.
Less seasoning. Okay, so clearly he's got more seasoning on there. Whoever made that chicken just messed up. So you got to ignore it. Tasty, they be messing up sometimes when they cook it. All right, so this Patty LaBelle. Let's see what Patty LaBelle doing.
She starts by generously seasoning chicken.
There you go. See, now she pre-seasoned. See, she seasoned the Boyd herself. See, I pre-seasoned the Boyd. There you go. Put some seasoning on that Boyd. Now, she doesn't do a brine. She goes right on in there. Now, this is called a salt brine. When you put the seasoning directly on the chicken and let it sit for a while. You should always let the seasoning sit in on the chicken a little bit before you burn it. Put it in there. She don't put no buttermilk or nothing. So this is kind of like the fried chicken that my mom grew up making. It's not super gourmet. It gets the job done. It's serviceable. It's not going to be super crispy crunchy, but it's going to be pretty good. But at least it's well seasoned. So, take your time. This is, to me, so this is what's going to be number 2 in this particular situation for me. So pro tip number 2 is all about making sure that you take your time with the recipe. So hold on for a second. Let's pause this for a second. Yes, Gordon Ramsay got that buttermilk. Hold on, player. Hold on, player. You moving too fast on me. I'm getting real excited with Gordon Ramsay because I already know Gordon Ramsay about to do it right. This man know how to cook his thing. All right, so we're gonna go. This is number 2 right now. We're going to do number 2.
Number 2.
All right, tip number 2 is take your time. If you go back to the Patty LaBelle recipe, her recipe is good and all, but she takes a while. She doesn't take enough time, in my opinion, with the recipe. She just puts the seasoning on the bird, puts the flour on there, throws it in there. That's a great, quick, and dirty recipe if you want to do it. But if you really want really good fried chicken, give it some marination time. If you notice with all the other recipes, there's at least a salt brine, sugar brine, or some sort of buttermilk that you sit it in overnight or at least for an hour or so. So I would say don't ever skip the preparation. That's my number 2 tip. Take your time. Really make sure you invest some time in your recipe, in your protein, because it is a muscle and it needs time to get that flavor in there and also to get it kind of broken down. Once that muscle is broken down a little bit more, especially with chicken breasts, it's going to give you a good opportunity to really get that flavor in there. So take your time. Don't rush it. It's going to be good. Now we're going to Gordon Ramsay. Hold on one second, play. I'm excited when he go to Okay, so buttermilk, straight buttermilk in there. He's a Brit, so I expect it. But he does have some seasoning, okay? He got a little seasoning in the actual coating, though. That's it. That's tip number 1 right there. Notice what the man did. We're going to take that back. Just quick, no cap. Let's see. Puts it in the flour, then puts it back in there. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes. Okay. And the number 1 tip, in my opinion, and it's got to do with, you can do this also with the oil, but my number 1 tip.
And number 1.
And number 1 to making your chicken
the player way
is you got to make sure that you double batter. Okay. So when you take your chicken out of the buttermilk, you're going to want to put it into the flour to get the coating. Now, when you put that buttermilk into that, when you take it out of the buttermilk and then put it into the coating, it's going to get a little bit of wet action on the outside. And when you throw that into the hot grease, there's an opportunity to have bald spots on the outside of your chicken. If you go back to when we were talking about David Chang, you notice on his little ramen coating there was bald spots. The best way to make sure that you don't have bald spots and you have that nice, thick, crispy, crunchy, delicious is you always double batter. I double batter when I got the calories to expend. It's high calorie, high flavor, high impact. Okay, so if you want to have that money experience, you got to double batter, bro. I'm so proud of Gordon Ramsay. Let's get this thing going.
Chicken, and he transfers it to a preheated fry.
Yep, there you go.
He takes each piece of chicken, dips it into a 325-degree fryer.
Yeah, that's number one.
Nice and crispy and golden. When he takes them out, sprinkles the top with a little bit of salt. He says if it's not fully cooked, you can transfer them to the oven for a few more minutes.
Yep. And what I would also do is I sometimes take my chicken out, let it rest on on that little grate, and then I put it back into the oil again to really make sure it's cooked through and through, and so that the outside of it doesn't overcook. Double dipping it into the oil is always a good thing. You do for French fries too. If you really want it crispy crunchy, double fry is always a good. But again, not everybody has time for that, and that's also some next level. So that's what's going down. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, with all due respect, and I don't care who they say the best fried chicken goes to. In my opinion, the top two fried chickens is going to be, I would say, it's going to be between Guy Fieri and Gordon Ramsay, and it all depends on the seasonings. And I think Guy Fieri had a little bit more flavor in his batter versus Gordon Ramsay, who had that nice crispity crunchy action with the double. But suffice to say that if you do it any of these ways, more toward the top two, Gordon Ramsay or Guy Fieri, you're definitely make sure that you are making your fried chicken
The player way.
and you are cooking it right. Okay, and that's what this channel is all about, making sure you cooking it right. I've been your boy BK, and now you know what y'all cooking.